If I could only pick 3 stretches to help me with my front splits, these would be them. These stretches specifically target the hip flexor and psoas muscles, which are crucial for a flat front split. So for the first exercise, you're going to go next to a sofa or a bed. In this case, I'm using a crash mat, and go into a lunge with the back leg elevated. Make sure both hips are facing forward, and you're going to place your hands on your knee and push your chest back, keeping your trunk above the hips. This is important so that most of your weight is pushing the hips down, which is what we want. You also want to make sure that your back leg isn't twisting to the side, so the top of your back leg should be placed on the sofa or the bed. And if you want, you can add in a twist by taking your opposite hand to the front knee. To build up your active flexibility, try bending and straightening the back leg. Imagine you want to kick your butt with the back foot. Pay attention that the back leg doesn't twist to the side when you do this. You can also do an isometric hold in this position to really build up your hamstring strength. For the next exercise, you're going to need yoga blocks and something soft to place under your knee, like a folded blanket or a cushion. Place the blanket next to the wall. Now place your knee on the blanket with the leg bent against the wall. This stretch can feel a little clumsy to set up in the beginning. Don't worry about it. Use your yoga blocks to help prop you up into a narrow lunge. And from here, you're going to push yourself back against the wall. The idea is to try and get your hips and shoulders to the wall. This stretch is amazing for releasing tight hips. However, it can be quite intense, so go slow. From this position, you're going to grab your yoga blocks and sink your hips down. To go deeper, try turning your front foot out at a diagonal angle. This is going to help your hips go lower. And just like before, you want to make sure that your back leg isn't twisting to the side and keep both hips facing forward. You also want to keep your shoulders and your trunk up above the hips. This is going to sink the hips lower, which is exactly what we want to go deep into the stretch. And the last stretch I would pick, if I could only choose 3 stretches for front splits, is an active lunge. This exercise is amazing for strengthening the glutes, but also for releasing tight hips. Start by going into a lunge with your back heel leaning against the wall. Keep your yoga blocks by your hips and lift the back knee off the ground. So the idea here is to try and straighten your back leg whilst sinking your hips down. You can use your yoga blocks to help you with your balance, but you don't want to use them to push yourself up. Again, we want to sink the hips down, so maybe your hands are just lightly placed on the yoga blocks. Remember to keep your trunk above the hips, shoulders back. And those are the 3 stretches I would pick if I wanted to release tight hips. I would hold each stretch for at least 30 seconds and repeat for maybe 2 or 3 rounds. Remember, flexibility takes time, so go slowly and try to enjoy the process. I'm sending you all the bendy vibes and happy stretching.